Hello, good morning. This is Rick Pina, and I bring you today's word for January 20th, 2016. This message is part of a series entitled Refine Focus. And so, for the 20 days now that we've been in 2016, the Lord has been dealing with me about keeping our eyes fixed and focused on Him. About this being a year where we can make it the best year of our lives, but we have to strip up ourselves away of anything that's a distractor, anything that's keeping us from becoming the men, the women that God has called and destined and designed and desires for us to be. So, along those lines, we looked at Isaiah 26:3 yesterday, where Isaiah said, "Thou will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee." We're going to go back to that verse this morning and take a look at it again. But today I want to look at the end of the verse, because yesterday I just talked about the peace of God, this supernatural peace of God that's available to us as believers, available to every believer. But today I want to go back to this verse again and focus in on our responsibility in the process. The title of today's message is A Matter of Trust. When it comes down to having the peace of God and not allowing yourself to be distracted, really, it boils down to a matter of trust. So the prophet Isaiah teaches us that there is a perfect peace. He says, Thou will keep him. God will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. There's a perfect peace available to the children of God. The original Hebrew text actually reads peace, peace, like a double peace. There's this double peace, a supernatural peace, a divine peace. But Isaiah teaches us that this peace is reserved for a certain group of believers. Isaiah tells us, the prophet, that this group of believers, they are able to keep their mind stayed on God. They are able to keep their mind focused on God. Now, we already spent in this series, we spent a couple of weeks studying 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 3 through 5. We studied the battle that's going on within our minds, this battle for our focus, this battle for our attention. Satan wants to distract you. Satan wants to derail you. Satan wants to destroy you, and he attempts to do it within the battleground of your mind. But the person Isaiah describes is a person who is able to withstand the attacks from Satan, these mental attacks, and to remain fixed and focused on God. This person resists every distraction. This person is not easily negatively persuaded or dissuaded. This is a person who is focused. Now, the goal is for that person to be me, that person to be you, right? We want Isaiah to be describing us. So we have to develop in this area. Now, while it is clear that some believers can focus on God in spite of the constant barrage of attacks in our own minds from the enemy, the question for this morning is why? What enables them? Why are they able to do it? And what enables them? What fuels their persistence? I believe that the answer to that question is at the latter part of this verse. Isaiah says, because he trusteth thee, or because he trusts in you. Because Isaiah makes a connection between focus and trust. Isaiah connects the focus that we should have with the trust factor, this matter of trust as it relates to God. Now, this year, because I told you that this year the Lord told me it would be a year of refined focus, I've really been meditating the word focus. I've been meditating on it a lot, pretty much every day. And when I see this connection between trust and focus, I asked the Lord about it. I asked him yesterday. I started asking him I started meditating that question. Lord, what's this connection between trust and focus? Can you talk to me about that? And it's something that he has begun to speak to me about, and I'm excited about sharing what he tells me with you. See, part of my assignment in life is to help you maximize your purpose and potential. Part of my purpose, part of me maximizing my purpose and potential is helping others to discover theirs, to find, follow, and finish their purpose. And so I get to do this as part of my life's assignment, and I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful that I can add value into the lives of others, that I can pour into others the things that God has poured into me. So along those lines, as God speaks to me about focus and trust, I'm going to be able to share it with you. So he already spoke a few things to me. So what does this mean to you today? I have 3 things to share with you. So let's get into it. Number 1, let's talk about aspects of trust, right? So number one, the first one I'll deal with is trusting someone's presence, like when you're in the presence of someone. So when you're around someone you trust, you put your guard down. You allow your internal defenses to rest. Now, I'm from Brooklyn, so I know what it's like to have your internal defenses up all the time. But when you're in the presence of someone you trust, you kind of put those defenses down, that you rest. You do this because you don't have any fear of that person doing you any harm or any wrongdoing. You feel at ease in their presence. Now, this is especially true when you believe that the person that's in your presence can actually protect you. So when you're in the presence of someone that you believe not only do you trust, but you believe that they have the power to protect you, now you're really at ease. You can put your defenses down, and you're not only are you not afraid of that person attacking you or doing you wrong, but now you're not afraid of anyone doing you wrong, because you know that if something does happen, if something does, like the young folks say, break off, right, then that person is going to be there to protect you. Now, if you can have that type of ease and rest and trust in a human, now how much more can you have it in the presence of God? Now, if you know that God is present, now when you acknowledge, now He's always present, but not all the time do we acknowledge it. So when you acknowledge that God is present, when you have a relationship with God and you know that He is present in any given moment, then at that moment it's hard for the enemy to strip you of your peace. But when you don't acknowledge His presence, then you're susceptible to the attacks of the enemy. So yes, God keeps him in perfect peace. His mind is stayed on him. Why? Because he trusts him. When you trust God and you know that He's present, you know that He is on you and in you and with you and for you, then it's hard for the enemy to strip you of your peace. Number two, let's talk about trusting someone's intelligence or their competence. Now, for years, I have been paid to be an expert in my field. Now, I definitely don't claim, listen, I don't know anything but what God has graced me to know. So I don't claim to know, to know everything, not by any stretch of the imagination. But in my field, in certain things, I am expected to know, and God has graced me to be able to know certain things. Now, I've built up a reputation to where when I provide an answer, it becomes the answer. Why? Because I built a reputation on providing the right answers, because normally I don't open my mouth if I don't know. If I don't know, I don't answer, right? So if I know, and I know with certainty, then I provide the answer. And this has blessed me, graced me to establish a track record of not only being an expert in my field, but providing the right answers, right? So when people come to me and I say, oh yeah, I know, and I provide an answer, then they trust what I'm saying because I established this track record. Now, if that's true for me, then how much more should it be true for God? God knows all things. He knows your thoughts before you think them. He knows your feelings before you feel them. He knows your decisions before you make them. If God says something to you, then you can trust Him. You can trust that that is the answer, and you can stand on that. He has never proven Himself to be wrong. You got to stand on the word that God gives you, and you stand on that word, and you will feel pressure from this world to think something else. You will feel pressure from this world to accept something else, but you don't. Why? Because you trust God. You trust God, and you maintain that internal peace. Number three, and finally, because I have a lot to say about this, but we'll just stop here for today. Trust is built on performance. Now, there's a certain level of trust that is assumed or given to just about anybody, but that level of trust is very low. True trust is earned over time. So when you consider the level of trust that you have for any given person, what you're actually doing is considering their track record. The better the track record, the higher the level of trust. The weaker the track record, then the lower the level of trust. Now think about God. Think about God and His track record in your life. He has never failed you. He's never turned His back on you. He's never lied to you. He's never said one thing and done another. Bottom line, God has never given you any reason not to trust Him. So you should trust God with all your heart. He knows all things. He has all power. He's in all places at the same time. So knowing that, your peace should be intact. Your hope should be elevated, and your faith should be focused. So let's close this message out with a declaration of faith. Repeat after me in faith from a believing heart. Speak this over your life. Say, Father, this is a season of refined focus for me. With my heart, I say, I trust you. Some trust in the riches of this world. I trust in you as my source. Some trust in the protection of this world. I trust in you as my shield. Some trust in the intelligence of this world. I trust in you for divine wisdom. You have never let me down. You have never failed me. You are all knowing, all powerful, and ever present. I love you. I believe in you. I trust in you. My trust in you fuels my faith and my peace. I enter this day in perfect peace because my mind is stayed on you because I trust you. I declare this by faith. In Jesus' name, amen. This is today's word. Apply it and prosper. If you're not getting these messages, go to todaysword.org. Look on the right-hand side of the website. Sign up. Get the messages. They're going to be a blessing to you. If you know someone who needs this message, share with them. As you head into this day, trust God. If you truly trust God, you will have a peace that will not be shaken. God bless you.